Hey yogis, welcome to our flow today, Vinyasa. Let's get it underway. Yay, it's a musical day. Okay, so I actually don't even know what day of the week it is because every day's a holiday now, right? And we're on a staycation retreat and you're supposed to kind of forget what day it is. Anyway, let's get on with our Vinyasa practice today. I'm going to take my trusty watch off, not even quite sure why I wear one, maybe because I've got a jamu delivery coming later today. And jamu is a traditional Indonesian tonic, started out on the island of Java and now it gets made in Bali, and it's primarily turmeric and ginger, and then it has galangal and a few other things thrown into the mix, some traditional herbs and leaves, and particularly the content of the jamu is said to be, has innumerous benefits as an antioxidant and a health tonic, and you'll see it as part of a number of different healthy options today. For its healing properties. One of the things that they do here, say if you get a bruise or a graze on your leg, they actually get turmeric powder and then mix it with coconut oil, and then that goes straight onto the wound. It's fascinating stuff, the jamu. Anyway, let's get on with our Vinyasa flow today. Come to seated, take Sukhasana, easy seated pose, always something to learn, isn't there? And closing down the eyes, relaxing the hands upon the knees. And I'm going to take this meditative mudra today, the forefinger resting underneath the thumb, feeling the grounded connection of the hips down to the earth, resting of the forearms onto the legs and feeling the weight of the arms coming down onto the legs, gentle tuck of the chin to the chest, feeling the shift back in the hips. Just noticing the inhale and the exhale breath. Hearing the noises of the birds, my neighbours making banana pancakes, so I've been told. And we've got some Bob Marley happening in the background. I'm going to let go of all of those sounds around me and invite you to do the same. Find this beautiful internalized practice that we call pratyahara. As we withdraw from all of our surrounds and look towards that self-study or self-inquiry through this introspective next hour on our rubber rectangles. Taking formal breaths here. The inhale breath feeling the rise of the chest. The exhale breath drawing the shoulders down the back. Noticing that gentle rise and fall of the chest. Allowing the shoulders to soften with the exhale breath. 2 more breaths in this space. I'm going to invite you to bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra, gentle humble bow of the head. We're going to take Om to open our practice today. This first inhale, exhale and let go of the breath. Second inhale for Om. Om is the universal sound of enlightenment, said to ground us in our practice and bring us to this very present moment. Releasing your hand down to the mat, start to stretch that hand away and reach the other hand up and over the top of the head. Really stretching those fingertips as far away as you can and pressing that opposite hip, this one here, down into the earth. 2 more breaths here as you peel open the heart space and that elbow goes back behind the ear. 1 more breath as you stretch and reach. Inhale and exhale over to the other side. Arm reaches away, opposite arm up and over. hip reaching back down towards the earth as you stretch in between the intercostals. So you can really feel that stretch all the way from the hip, going up through the side of the body, even into the armpit, and all the way up to the elbow. Peeling open the heart space, drawing the elbow back behind the ear. A little bit more depth in that stretch. Draw belly to spine, keep breathing. Inhale and coming back to center, walk the hands forward. Drop the head down, feel the connection of the hips down to the earth. Breathing into the back ribs here, feeling that expansion across the back ribs, it feels really nice. Two more breaths here. Inhale and lift that arm super high, gazing up towards the fingertips. And as you exhale, squirrel that arm underneath the other one, gazing towards the fingertips. Drop the head. A little bit of a twist here. Opening up into the shoulder and into the scapula of that left side. Two more breaths. Next inhale, invite you to draw that hand back and simultaneously reach that left hand all the way to the sky. Dig this elbow into the right knee. So the right elbow is connected with the right knee. And use a little bit of leverage to lift the heart space and open the twist. Draw belly to spine. Inhale creates length. Exhale allows the knees to settle, the hips to settle. Deepen that twist ever so slightly. One more breath. Inhale, lengthen, reach back. Exhale and release. Uncross the legs, cross them over the other way. You know the drill. Exhale and release down. Stretching in the other direction. Relax the head, the neck. Inhale, breathe into the back ribs. Maybe reach a little bit further forward. Inhale and exhale. One more breath here. Walking the hands back slightly, and we're going to inhale the right arm high, gaze towards the fingertips, and then sweep, squirrel, or otherwise that hand underneath and relax back down. I'd like to deepen that twist by moving the hand across the body, releasing down. Notice that one side might be a little bit more user-friendly than the other. Two more breaths here. Walking that left hand back underneath the shoulder. Inhale, so the left elbow is into the left knee. Plant that hand. Reach the right arm high, gazing towards the fingertips. The inhale finds a little length, and the exhale allows you to deepen the twist. Two more breaths. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, deepen the twist. One more. Exhale and release down. Rolling on over, come into your tabletop. So knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale the right foot and the left hand. Draw belly to spine. As you exhale, bring elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Two more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Bring it back. Lengthen here. Hold for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2, and release. Flex that foot and bring the knee almost to the floor. And we're just going to do 10 side lifts. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, a little bit of glute activation here, 1, and this time we're bringing the knee parallel to the floor, flexing the foot, and 10 little pulses here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, belly to spine, press the earth and release. Other side, left leg back, right arm forward, holding here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Elbow to knee on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, 2 to go. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Inhale, hold here, press and lengthen 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Right hand comes down. Left knee bends. And we've got those side lifts for 10, 9, 8, 7. Press the hands. Isolate the glutes. 5, 4. Belly to spine. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Press that heel towards the sky. Left leg is bent. Activation of the glutes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lengthen the left leg. Reach and lift. Holding here for 2 breaths. Exhale and release. Bring the knees slightly together here. Press the shins into the earth and lift the knees up off the floor. For 5, 4. Inhale and exhale breath, doming through the back body, engaging into the core. 1 more breath. Exhale and release the knees down to the earth. Coming all the way back, interlace the hands behind the back body and press the hands into the earth. Tucking the chin into the chest and feeling that lengthening through the back body. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. And release. Give the arms a little bit of a shake. Hands, palms press into the earth. Engaging into the core. Start to dome through the shoulders as you lift the knee. For 5 breaths. Engage that core, lift the belly towards the spine, shorten the distance between the ribs and the hips. 2 more breaths, press, 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 press. Press, press, press. And lower. Exhale and release. Interlace the hands behind the back. Squeeze the hands, palms together and start to lift the hands away from the heels this time. Opening into the chest. Inhale, lift the heart space. You'll notice that the hands lower a little bit there, perfectly fine. Lift again. It's all about those little calibrations that we make as we move through. Exhale and release. Give the arms a little bit of a shake. Calming back down into this abdominal work here. Nice, good work for the core. Lifting onto the toes or shins rather, front of the feet. Lifting that right knee into the chest, almost touching the right elbow here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale and release. Inhale, arms reach up high, hands, palms, press towards the sky, lengthening through the back body, belly to spine, heart to the sky, belly to spine, heart to the sky. 2 more breaths, belly to spine, heart to the sky. Exhale and release. Last round. Hands, palms down to the mat. Lift and left elbow into that chest, touching into the left knee into the left elbow for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. I'm already sweating. This time take the hands forward, turn the hands, palms, and sit back here. And this is almost replicating that shape that we just had. Then inhale up, exhale, release. And coming forward a little bit, well, I'm going to come forward. And I'm going to bring the toes underneath the heels here. Walk my knees back towards my toes. Draw belly to spine. Squeezing into the legs a little bit here and bringing my hands to heart center. If this is a little bit challenging, hands to the earth, or you can put a block underneath the knees just to make that a little bit easier. For 4, 3, 2, sometimes closing the eyes can just make it all a little bit more bearable. And 1, I'm really feeling that into the toes today. Hands, palms plant, a little toe tap at the back there to find the blood circulating back into the toes. Sit back onto the knees and gently lift the knees up off the earth, stretching through the front of the legs. Bring the hands to heart center, close down the eyes. 4 breaths here. Exhale and release. Bring the elbows down onto the mat. Step the left foot back and then the right foot, and we find ourselves in this forearm plank, continuing into our core work here. Lengthening the heels towards the back of the mat. Gentle gaze forward for 4, 3 breaths. Press the forearms, still doming up through the shoulders, just like we do in our plank pose. One more breath. We're going to roll, drop the right feet, the right knife edge of the foot to the earth, and come into your side plank here for 4 breaths and hold. 2 and 1. Exhale, release back to the earth. Plank for 5, 4, 3. Gazing forward, crown of the head lengthening away from the heels. Drop over to that left side. Inhale, reach the right arm high. 4 counts here. Matching the breath, reaching and lifting those fingertips nice and high. 2 more breaths. Exhale and release down. 4 breaths here, we've got this. You're like, when is this going to end? 2 and 1. Exhale, release all the way down to the earth. Moving forward into Sphinx pose. Ah, feels so good. Elbows are digging into the earth. The feet are slightly separated here. And you're feeling that lengthening through the spine, almost like you're telescoping the ribs away from the hips. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. Take the hands out to the side of the mat and press and lift here for seal pose. This is a little bit too intense where you feel free to stay in Sphinx, where the elbows are down to the earth. And if you're in seal pose, you can inhale and gaze towards the sky. Exhale and release all the way down to the mat. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale and release. Squeeze the legs together. Inhale, peel the body off. Cobra, coming up a little higher. Exhale and release. 2 more. Hands, palms press. Feet grind down into the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and release. Last one. Press the feet into the mat, zip the legs. Elbows into the ribs, lift. Exhale and release. Take the arms wide here, out to the side. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale and release. 2 to go. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale and release. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale and release. Hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes. Inhale, exhale back. And pressing all the way up. Downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here. Feels good. And our first downward facing dog. Define this movement. Movement in the hips, movement in the heels. Check your hand placement. Hands are like starfish. Excuse me. Lengthening through the legs, grounding the heels towards the earth, lifting the kneecaps, lengthening the quadriceps. Draw belly to spine, tuck chin to chest. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot, right hand. And we're coming into our low lunge, Anahatasana, uncurl the back toes. Inhale, arms reach high, hips stay down. Grab hold of that left wrist and pull the left wrist to the right side. Draw the hips towards the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Giving that psoas a little bit of respite. Exhale, release. 2 more breaths. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale, lengthen the hands towards the sky. Bring the hands to heart center. Left elbow over to the right knee. Take this little twist here. Gazing back over the right shoulder. Drawing the hips towards the earth. Inhale, lengthen and deepen that twist with the exhale. Dropping the hips down. 1 last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Place the hands down onto the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the hips, and step back down facing dog. And my neighbours are exceptionally noisy right now. Not sure why they always like to make a little bit of noise as soon as I start a video. Yay! Inhale, left leg high. Gaze towards the left hand, stepping it forward. And drop that right knee down towards the earth. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, arms reach high. Grab hold of the right wrist as we stretch the psoas on the other side. So the hips are surrendered down towards the earth. And the inhale feels you stretching up, lifting up and out of the ribs, stretching into the psoas. Left knee is still tracking the midline. Opening up for 3 more breaths here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, surrender. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, surrender. 1 more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Stretch the hands up. Gaze towards the hands, palms, fingertips reaching as you exhale. Bring the hands through to heart center. Right elbow comes into the left knee. And you find that little prayer twist. Drawing the hips down towards the earth. The inhale lengthens through the back body and the exhale allows you to go a little further into the twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen the twist. Last breath comes back to inhale, center. Hands, palms, press the earth. Tuck the right toes and step back. Downward facing dog, a little bit of movement here. Feels good. Slide the shoulders over the top of the hands and we are in plank pose. Doming up through the shoulders. We've got 4 breaths here. Engage the core. Look forward. Heels to the back of the mat for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You know what's coming next, don't you? It's a side plank, lifting up. You're like, I know what she's doing. Lifting here and lengthening. Not one sun salutation yet, I'm already busting a sweat. Reaching fingertips as high as you can. 1 more breath. Inhale, exhale. Left hand comes down to the mat. Push the mat away. Lengthen through the front body. Lengthen the back body, crown of the head, drawing away from the heels. Heels drawing away from the head. Belly to spine. 1 more breath. And heels down to the left. Inhale, right arm high for plank pose. 4 breaths here. Notice the stacking for the joints, the reaching of these fingertips nice and high. Lift the hips a little bit. 1 last breath. Exhale. Back down to plank. Feeling that beautiful lengthening through the spine. For 3 more breaths, belly to spine. Lengthening of the spine. Everything's about the spine. Exhale. Knees down to the earth. Chest and chin down, Ashtanga Namaskar. 2 breaths here. Last breath. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, drop the body down towards the earth. Reach around and grab hold of your right foot. Pull that right foot into your butt. So you want to have your knees pretty close together here. So if the insides of the thighs are touching and the knees are touching, just try not to take it out to the side. So if I was demonstrating, it'd be kind of out here somewhere. Keep the heel into the butt. If you're feeling a little bendy in this space, you can start to lift the knee off the mat. But try and keep the knees together. Exhale and release, other side. Heel into the butt. Lifting of the knee if that's available to you. Exhale and release, arms out to the side. Bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder and roll over into broken wings. So we're opening up into the shoulder. Earlier in our asana, we took the shoulder back in the other direction and opened up through the scapula. Now we're opening up through the pecs in the front body, so really lovely. Coming back through center, arm out to the side, left hand under the chest. And this stretch is really lovely if you're doing a lot of chaturanga and a lot of arm balancing, because it feels that beautiful stretch into the pecs. And my neighbours are very generously playing me some Indian music now. Not sure if you can hear that in the background. Never a dull moment here where I live. I call them the Swedish House Mafia because there's like 5 Swedish people living here. Myself. Yes. the Swedish House Mafia. Inhale and come back to your center. Ooh. Take the hands behind the back, squeeze the legs or zip the legs together, and as you start to lift the chest, draw the hands back towards the butt. Inhale, little baby sips of air. One more breath. Exhale and release. You can release the hands here, toes touch, and roll the head to one side. Take a breath here. Exhale the breath. Zip the legs up. Interlace the fingers. Start to lift the chest and lift the legs. Lifting, lifting. Inhale. Exhale. One more lift. Exhale and release. This time reach around for the inside of the foot and grab hold of the inside of the foot there. Start to kick. This front hand can come in front for a little bit of balance. Start to kick the hand into the foot and feeling the activation through the quads and the glutes here, opening up into that shoulder. Exhale and release. Right hand comes underneath the chin. Left hand reaches around for the left foot on the inside there, so you can see the difference in the shoulder rotation. Here, and now I've got a little bit of external rotation. I'm going to kick into that hand and lift that foot, feeling that little opening in the heart space as I lift. Exhale and release. Hands coming underneath the chest, stepping back and coming into downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here in the hips, in the heels, gentle gaze towards the back of the mat. Press the hands, palms into the laps, lengthen through the legs, draw belly to spine. Gentle gaze forward. And we're going to do jump forward to seated and take the legs out in front of us for a Paschimottanasana. So pulling the toes back towards the face. Inhale, lift the heart space. As you exhale, start to walk the hands forward, feeling that beautiful lengthening in the spine. Gazing towards the toes. Feeling a little bit of movement here is good. Maybe I can feel that a little bit more in the lower back, making some adjustments. Reaching the hands as far forward as I can. 2 more breaths. One last breath here. Walking the hands back. I'm going to come into reverse tabletop. So I'm bringing the feet, so the knees is kind of like about 45, well actually that's probably a 90-degree angle in there, isn't it? And the hands are going to come towards, pointing towards the butt cheeks. And we're going to lift the hips to the sky, and it's like a reverse tabletop. My head drops back. I keep pressing my feet into the floor. My quads are engaged, belly's engaged. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. And coming all the way down. Cross the legs over and come back into your tabletop. So from this tabletop position, we're going to come into a little bit of a psoas stretch. I had to think about that then, didn't I? Didn't have to think about it earlier today. So we're coming into this little bit of a psoas stretch here. Pressing the hips forward. It's almost like a supported plank pose, side plank. And we're going to lift into a baby half moon. From here, you're going to bend that back left leg and drop that leg behind you and open up into this variation of wild thing. Releasing that hand over the head, pressing the hips towards the sky and opening the heart space. Inhale back to your baby half moon. Exhale, release it down to tabletop. And let's take that on the other side. First of all, coming to our supported side plank. 2 breaths here. Lifting to baby half moon. 2 breaths. Bending that right leg, placing that right leg behind you. A little bit of support here. Relaxing back, pressing the hips forward. 3 breaths here, reaching and lengthening that hand away. 2 and 1. Inhale back, baby half moon. Exhale. Coming back down to tabletop. Let's do that one more time. Coming over into our supported plank. Lifting up, baby half moon. Bending the right knee, stepping it back. Finding your little wild thing variation here. Now see, you can see how my knee has moved here to accommodate that opening. Perfectly fine. Inhale, back to baby half moon. Exhale, roll it back, tabletop. Last one, left side, yay. Side plank. Inhale, baby half moon. Bending that knee, exploring your wild thing here. Inhale, baby half moon. Exhale, coming back down. Take the knees as wide as the mat here. Drop the hips back down and reach and stretch forward in this variation of wide leg child's pose. Opening of the heart as the heart drops towards the earth. And you can either rest the chin on the mat here or you can rest the forehead. Breathe into the back body. Sometimes this is a real test of pratyahara for me, because there's so much noise happening around, particularly when I'm sharing practice with you on the mat. I feel like it has its challenging moments, but we're here, we're happy, and we just have to be accepting of everything that's going on around us. There are some things we simply cannot control, right? That noise is one of them. Inhale, come back to your tabletop. You've noticed I've stayed in my forearms, because we're going to come down to Anahatasana puppy pose. Opening up through that back body, opening the heart space. Three rounds of breath here. Inhale and come forward. Rolling onto the right side. Extend this right arm out and see if you can get the armpit down onto the earth here. Lifting the right leg, the left leg here, and we're going to reach for the left leg with the left hand. We're going to start kicking into that left hand and opening up, reaching and pressing, finding a little bit of balance here. And I'm not going to lie, I fell out of this doing earlier today. Could not find my balance at all. And one of the tricks is, you can see that my foot here is super flexed and I'm pressing the knife edge, whoops, there we go, of that foot into the earth as I lift here. And open the heart. Exhale and release. Rolling over to the other side. Flexing that underneath foot here. Lifting my right leg. Reaching around. Grabbing hold of that foot. And finding a little balance here. Now it might be today that you just get to this part here, and that's perfectly okay. If you get to flopping around like a fish, woo! Kicking that back, heel, foot into the hand, opening through the heart. Exhale, rolling back down onto the belly. And taking a moment here just to recalibrate the inhale and the exhale. You're like, what was that pose? What are we doing today? Because it's kind of supposed to be a little bit fun. And we're very serious sometimes in yoga, so we're trying to be unserious and realise that falling over is a line. But also, sometimes it's not the shape that's important. It's how you actually feel in the shape. So not looking for perfect, but looking for an exploration of the physical self in the shape and finding how you feel in all those different places. Hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, press back and up to downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here. Inhale and lift the right leg. Exhale and step that right foot to the right hand. And you've got a high lunge here, crescent lunge, taking 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Hands come back down to the earth, step back. Yogi's choice on the Vinyasa. Exhale, Chandrasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale back, Ardha Mukha. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, crescent lunge. Inhale, arms reach high. 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale 1. Belly to spine. Inhale, exhale 2. Release the hands down to the mat. Step back and take a Vinyasa. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha. Little bend, stretch. Gaze into the belly button if you can, belly to spine. Gentle gaze forward, bend into the knees. Step through to seated. And we're going to come into a little bit of forward folding and stretching here. So I'm going to take my left leg out in front of me here. I'm going to take a variation of rock the baby. So my right arm is underneath or wrapped around my right leg. And I'm going to try and lift my heart space and sit onto my sit onto my sit bones. I'm going to try and lengthen through the back. So instead of sitting back here, which is quite often what will happen, we want to actually sit forward onto the sit bones and feel that lengthening through the body. And you can take a gentle rock here, and this is why it's called a rock the baby. Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby, rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. It's enough of my singing today. It's probably nicer than the yelling I'm hearing downstairs. Pull that leg into the chest. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Gaze towards your toes. Take the peace fingers of the right and pop them around the toe here and extend that leg out to the side. I'm not overly fussed what you do with this hand at this point in time. What I do want you to do, I find on the hip is good. I've got a little bit of slide happening on those tiles. And I'm going to lift and lengthen through that leg. And you can see what happens when I start to press my toes into my hand and I activate the bicep in this right hand. 2 more breaths. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it back to rock the baby. And then all the way over to half shoelace. We're going to take this left leg over to the side because I love this stretch. And release down over the top of your half shoelace. Bring the chin into the knee if that's available to you, or just being wherever you are today, because that is perfectly okay. 2 more breaths here. Deep belly breaths, just seeing what you can let go of in this space. One more breath. Inhale, walk the hands back. We're coming into full shoelace. So this left foot is just going to tuck underneath here. And I'm not going to tell you that this is my favourite pose in the world because that would be a barefaced lie. So I'm feeling as greatly challenged in this pose as maybe you are. And you can see that my right hip is a little bit lifted. So in that case, I'm going to slide my left foot out a little bit further and make it just a little bit more uncomfortable. Hands are in front of the feet here, and I'm going to gently use a little bit of pressure into the mat to sit my hips back, because we want to feel, and I can feel that the tendency is for this over leg, the leg that's over the top, is to lift this hip. So what I want you to think about is drawing that right hip back down to the mat, or the hip of the top leg down to the mat. Press the hands here and just see if you can find those little adjustments that bring the hips a little bit closer. Now, if you're super flexy in this space, hit the deck, baby. Come all the way down. If you're not and you're feeling this in the hip opening, awesome. If you can come a little bit further down, do that. Wherever you are today, it's perfectly okay. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. Walking all the way up, which wasn't really that far, but it felt like it was a really long way. Take the feet out in front of you and give the legs a little bit of a shake. And we're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So our first sequence is rock the boat, baby, rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. It's actually rock the baby, but I just needed to sing that song for you again. Right elbow into whatever that is, the instep. Left around the back of the elbow there. Now, I don't know how long your legs are, obviously, because I can't see them. But, you know, you might be here for today, and that's perfectly okay too. Or you might just be pulling that into the chest until you get that extension. And wherever you are is perfectly okay. But the body has been made in such a way that we find these weird places of synergy and I forget the other word that I'm looking for today, where, you know, the body's made so that we can match all these different areas of the body up, so the arms can wrap around the legs or wherever we are. So we seem to find our own way and be balanced in that space. Lengthening the crown of the head towards the sky, drawing the tailbone down and pulling that shin towards the chest. A little bit of hip opening here. See if you can let go of holding on or contracting those muscles and just feeling the stretch. Ooh, that feel good. Peace fingers of the left hand in between and wrapped around that big toe. And you're going to extend that leg out to the side. Now, your leg might be bent here today, and that's perfectly okay. If that's the case, I just want you to find the sit bones. Just do a little bit of hip opening here. Lengthen through so you're feeling the crown of the head rise towards the sky. And then just gradually, eventually, you're going to straighten that. And you're going to start pressing the toes into the finger, and you're going to activate this bad boy here, the bicep. Lift. One more breath. Exhale. Bring it back in. Give yourself one little stretch there in this rock the baby. And then we come into our shoelace. Perfectly placed to drop that left foot over the top. Take the right foot out to the side. Lifting up through the back body. Exhale and draw the body forward to wherever you are today. I really love this stretch. Like I know, like I say that shoelace is super duper hard, but if we start here in half shoelace and we start to find some of that opening into the hip and into the glutes, it changes our life. It's pretty good. Yoga does that, but changes our life. Makes you more tolerant of the people yelling downstairs. I'm sure we all have our things wherever we are in quarantine or in our own lounge rooms. You've probably got kids running around in the background, husband telling them to shut up. Could be anything at all. Could be neighbours mowing their lawn. Tuck the chin into the chest. One more breath here. Gently walk the hands back towards the shins, ready for full shoelace. Tuck that knee underneath. Oh, this side's worse than the other one. Ah, yay. Drawing that left hip down towards the earth. So wherever your top leg is, just make sure that you can feel the evenness of the sit bones connected to the earth. Plant the hands here and, you know, just find that little space. Be that yogi explorer that just finds you that space in this shoelace space. Now, if you can't get into this posture, which, you know, it's not always available to us in our first ever go. So just stay in half shoelace and work through that and just find a little bit more opening, and eventually you are going to be able to work into this, I promise you. But you just need to keep coming back and giving it a go every single day, every other day, creating that habit. Just while we're here, it takes 21 days to create a habit. So if you keep coming back to the mat, 21 days, day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way up to 21, eventually you will have created this beautiful habit, which becomes a practice. So yoga is just a practice that becomes a habit that changes your life. Inhale and coming all the way up. Whoa, unwrap the legs, yay, unwrap the legs. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. Coming back onto the mat and rolling over, finding your downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here, a little bit of hips, a little bit of heels. Pressing the heart towards the earth, a little gentle gaze forward. A little bend of the knees, the step will float to your flat back. Exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Oh my goodness, we made it to standing. Hands, palms, press, heart lifts, heels ground. Hands to heart center, hands by the side. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, step back to plank. Take a vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, back ardha mukha. As we come into pigeon pose, inhale, lift that right leg high. Exhale, bring it on down. Slide that left foot back. Sliding, 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 feels good. A little bit of movement here. And today in our pigeon pose, just want you to see if you can find that back leg. So maybe you need to rise up a little bit here, and that's okay. Maybe you need to find the balance of the block, and you've got the balance of the hand here. We're just exploring that space. Now, you can see what happens when I have my arm on the inside of my foot here. I've got that external rotation of the shoulder, and then here I'm able to square that off a little bit more. So we're going to take it from the outside so that we can still square the hips here and pull that knee, pull that heel in towards the butt. 2 more breaths. Now start to kick that foot into the hand and open up the heart space. Kick, 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 open the heart space. Exhale and release. A little bit of movement here, a little bit of movement. Now that is a really good place to use the strap. I should have mentioned that. Exhale and come down until you are resting your forehead on your hands. And breathe. 5 breaths here. So using a strap in that space actually does make it a little bit easier, and you can use, I'll reach for the tea towel, reach for my sweat towel on the next one so I can do a bit of a demo. 2 more breaths. Lifting up, hands, palms, plant the earth, tuck that back toe, lift up, come back into your 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale and lift. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale and lift. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale and lift. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale and lift. Exhale, release that foot down to the floor. Inhale, left foot lifts. Exhale, pigeon pose on the left. Playing in this space, just a little bit. I'm reaching over for my trusty little towel. Coming down, so finding that first little bit of movement in the hips here. So opening up, maybe a little bit of rock side to side. Testing that that right foot is parallel, the right leg is parallel to the long side of the mat, and that the hips are square. So I'm going to reach back and grab my right foot from the outside of the foot, and I'm going to start to pull that pull that foot back in. So if we need to do a little bit of a wrap here, and you can start this on the floor, so if your strap's a little bit longer, you can get a little bit unco here, wrap it around, and then take it back and do your adjustments. Like honestly, whatever it takes for you to get into the space is perfectly fine with me. But what you do want to do is make sure that once you get into the space that you are setting yourself up correctly. So if you've got the strap wrapped around your toes at this point and you just want to reach back from here and then just check that you're square in the space. Lifting up through the heart space here, and I'm pulling that heel into the butt. And now I am kicking that foot into the hand, and I'm feeling the difference, which is this is starting to open up through the heart space here. And I'm using this left hand to balance me and maintain my hips being square to the earth. Exhale and release. Starting to walk the hands forward and finding myself coming down into this pigeon pose. Four more breaths here. Walking the hands back towards the thighs, tucking that back right leg and lifting up into downward facing dog. And we're going to repeat that core strength exercise here, coming to plank. Left knee, left elbow, inhale, lift. Left knee, right elbow, inhale, lift. Left knee, left elbow, inhale, lift. Left knee, right elbow, inhale and lift. Exhale and release, downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here. We're just going to come into a final balancing pose, which will be half moon to splits. So this should be fun. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step that right foot to your right hand. Reach your right hand forward. And then use a little bit of momentum here to lift you up and come all the way into your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Balancing here, lifting up through that right supporting leg. Inhale and reach the crown of the head away from that flexed foot, the heel drawing to the back of the mat, opening up in the hips, reaching that left arm high, telescoping the ribs away from the hips. Exhale and release the left hand down to the earth. Walk the hands back towards the feet and square the hips as you start to come down for your standing splits. 2 more breaths here. Maybe you'd even like to find a little bit of balance. Last breath. Exhale, bend into that right supporting leg. Come down into your high lunge. Step back, take a vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, ardha mukha. Inhale, left leg, this time last side. And we're going to step that left foot to the left hand. Left hand now steps forward. You're going to use a little bit of momentum here. And you're going to spring up and find your space in Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Grounding that left foot into the earth, opening the hips, reaching the crown of the head away. Stretching and lengthening through the spine. Opening up, reaching this top hand towards the sky. Exhale and release the right hand down towards the mat. Square the hips and draw the body down. You're going to use the abdominal or core strength here to draw the head down and point that toe up towards the sky. Maybe even testing your balance here. Lifting the hips, lifting the heel. Drawing the head down to the earth, try not to lose balance. Exhale, bend into that supporting left leg. Lower the right down to the earth, into your high lunge. Step back into plank and take a vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale back, ardha mukha. Finding a little bit of reprieve here. Bend into the knees. Come all the way to seated. And lie all the way onto your backs. Little gentle roll around on the back here. A little bit of movement. Rock and roll on the back. Coming all the way up to kneeling. And we're just going to take a little camel pose here. We've done quite a little bit of heart opening and back bending through this practice today. So we're just going to separate the knees, and in this variation I'm going to get you to come up onto the toes. If you're an experienced cameler, I'm not sure that that's a word, cameler, however it is now, you can have the toes flat down to the floor. And if you have any other variations of camel that you'd like to safely explore through this practice, please feel free. But if you're joining me for the first time in camel, coming on up to the toes, and what this is going to allow is an easier reach of the toes and a little bit more of a press forward with the hips. So we're going to take our arms around the back, and as though you're going to get some action, grab hold of your glutes there. Start to press the hips forward. Empty the breath. Inhale, lift the heart space. And as you exhale, reach around for the right foot and then the left, dropping the head back, pressing the hips and grabbing hold of the heels. 3 more breaths here. Keep pressing the hips. Inhale, chin to chest, hands to heart center. Sit back into the hips, bring the knees together, A little bit of a mozzie part of my hand, that's okay. Hands, palms to the knees, just at the front of the quadriceps. Belly to spine. Tuck the chin into the chest and really close down your Vishuddha chakra, so your throat lock. Breathe deeply here. 2 more breaths. And release your throat lock. We're going to come into one more version of Camel, Yogi's choice here. I'm going to invite you to take the knees a little bit wider and bring the feet a little bit closer at the back. So what that's going to look like is that the knees are apart and the feet are just slightly closer together in this variation. I'm going to bring the hands to heart center, or I can take the hands to the glutes. Start to press the hips forward. Exhale a breath. Inhale, lift the heart space. And reach left foot and right, dropping back into your camel. If you're a little bit more experienced in this space, you might like to lift one hand and give yourself a little bit of a reach back here, and then relax that hand, grab the foot, then take the other one, reach back. Replace that hand back at the ankle, and then bring the hands up to heart center, chin to chest, sitting back down onto the heels, knees together, hands on the knees here. And just sitting for a moment, closing down the eyes and being with whatever comes up for you through this pose. So really interesting is when you introduce the throat lock in between those two postures. So you really open up the throat and open up the heart space during Camel Pose. And then as we come back down, I got you to do the throat lock where we really tuck the chin into the chest and breathe and drew air down into the belly from there. And then as you release, just come back and sit in this space. And sit with whatever comes up. So for me, I felt like I just released a whole lot of energy that was sitting in my throat chakra. So makes me smile a little bit, I think. Maybe, have I found my voice? Am I going to become a singer? Well, let's not get carried away. Okay, I just cleared the throat chakra. Hips to heels, drawing down. Scooting on over to the side, let's come into our last supine twist for the day. Rolling down, lying all the way down on the back. Bring the knees into the chest, give yourselves a hug. Exhale and release. Take the arms out to the side, drop the knees to the side. Gaze away from the knees. 4 breaths here. Two more breaths. Trying to let go. Surrender. Knees back into the chest, a little bit of a roll around here. And drop the knees over to the right. Arms out to the side. Gazing away from the knees. Little cactus of the arm if that works for you. 4 breaths. Knees into the chest. A little bit of gentle movement here. And reach the right foot to the right end of the mat, left foot to the left end of the mat. And Shavasana. Hands out to the side, gentle tuck of the shoulder blades underneath the body, flattening the back down. Take an inhale breath. Exhale. And relax. Let go of any thoughts. Let go of that practice. Let go of the good. Let go of the bad. There is no good, there is no bad, there is just being. There is just here and now. Relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the ankles, relax the shins and the calves, relax the knees, relax the hamstrings and the quadriceps, relax the hips, relax the belly, relax the back body, relax the chest and the heart space. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms, the elbows and the forearms, relax the wrists and the fingers, relax the neck and the head, relax the face, and relax your brain. Let go of the connection to breath. And just be in this space. As always, I invite you to stay as long as you possibly can in your Shavasana. Feel free to hit pause here and stay for as long as you like. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Find a little movement in the fingers and toes. Reach the arms up over the head. Give yourselves a nice long stretch, making the longest version of you today. And when you're ready, bring the heels up to the butt and roll on over to the left or right. I don't mind which side. Find this small version of you, comfortable, nurtured, safe. Pressing the hand palm into the earth. And coming all the way up to Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Bringing the hands to heart center. We're going to close our practice today with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. Take a deep inhale breath and release the breath. Inhale for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace in the head, peace in the heart, peace in the home, peace in the universe, peace to all that inhabit our universe. Thank you for joining me here in Collective Practice today. Namaste and have a wonderful day.